Sri Aurobindo Mira, open my mind, my heart, my life to your light, your love, your power. In all things may I see the divine. Sri Aurobindo Mira is my refuge. Vande Matram. Today we are going to discuss a great topic in this great morning, that is on sincerity. Very interesting topic that is to be discussed right now in this morning, that is on sincerity. So all of we us know sincerity is a major factor. It plays a major role while proceeding in this spiritual line. When someone is pursuing this spiritual path, sincerity is a must. It has got a greater value in the process of sadhana. It must be taken care of. So almost we are going to analyze something, of course, in the brief, from Sri Aurobindo's writings on the great topic, on the great word, that is very essential word in this integral yogic path, that is sincerity. So Sri Aurobindo quotes initially, there is one indispensable condition, that is sincerity. So sincerity, it has got a big value while we are pursuing this path, integral path. So when all is in agreement with the one truth or an expression of it, that is harmony. So Sri Aurobindo tries to quote on harmony. Mother, of course, Mother has quoted, all sincere prayers are granted. Sincerity has got a greater virtue. It is already discussed many times, oft quoted. These are the messages from Mother and Sri Aurobindo. When all is in agreement with the one truth, all is in agreement with the one truth, only truth. Falsehood, it moves in different directions. It has got infinite paths. But things that only towards the truth, only there is one truth, and only there is only one path. So when there is all is in agreement with the one truth and or an expression of it, then it is harmony. Then again, Sri Aurobindo, of course, quotes, sincerity in the vital is the most difficult to have. Sincerity in the vital, because vital always rejects almost, it is not in line with sincerity. Sincerity in the vital is the most difficult to have and the most needful. It is the most needful but difficult to have. Sincerity, it does not come to, actually, vital does not get intended to for the change in the sense, change in the spiritual path. It is actually difficult, even if not impossible. It is difficult because the only possibility is that someone has to be that much arrogant, that much very much careful. That opening must be there, surrender must be there to the divine. That must be a call, willingness to change, so that preparation is necessary. So again, Sri Aurobindo quotes the result of self-loving love. Very interesting paradox. It is very interesting description is there. The results of the self-loving love. The result of this self-loving love between the human being is so poor and contrary in the end. So this is the thing, that we are not actually in a position even to love ourselves. Self-loving love, that is actually very poor and contrary in the end. That is what I mean by the ordinary vital love. We are actually seeing the many paradoxes, many enigmas, many contradictions we see. That I want something purer and nobler and higher in the vital also for the movement towards the divine. So even in the vital, something is required that is purer, nobler, and higher. So because we already it is discussed when I mean by the ordinary vital love. So that I want to say, the vital love, that is something purer, nobler, and higher in the vital also for the movement towards the divine. That is the most requirement, initial requirement. because Sri Aurobindo quotes in a very boldly, very minutely. Sri Aurobindo has observed and given one beautiful clarification on this. The aim of this yoga, not Sri Aurobindo quoting about the other yoga, like many yogas we find, Hatha Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, many yoga, Vaishnava cults. There's so many things we have seen, Bhakti Yoga, etc., in Vaishnava cults. So the aim of this yoga is an opening to a higher divine truth beyond life. That is the most essential thing. One must be able to quote it and realize it and practice in life. The aim of this yoga is in the opening of to the higher divine truth beyond life, mind, and the body, and the transformation of these three mind, life, and body, entire transformation, triple transformation of these three things into its image. So from the original, it has been detached in the process of involution. It has come. It has almost reached at the lowest, most prodigy at the top, at the almost at the end, at the lowest, most level, like in mind, life, and body. That must be transformation. The integral transformation is required, transformation of these three things into the image. But that transformation can't take place, and the truth itself can't be known in its own unmistakable spirit, perfect light, real body, until the whole Adhara has been fundamentally or potentially purified. So by partiality, by partial transformation or partial progress, it is difficult. So integral, fundamentally and potentially purified, the Adhar that is required. Adhar has been must be fundamentally and potentially purified, make plastic and capable of receiving what is beyond the construction of the mind and the desire of the vital being, and even the habits of the physical consciousness and physical being. So it must be plastic and capable of receiving what is beyond the construction of these desires of the vital being, habits of the physical consciousness, and constructions of the mind. Beyond that, something is there, higher consciousness, higher truth, higher light, that has to be attained and that has to be aspired for, things must be realized. Then Sri Aurobindo again quotes, slipping little bit forward, we will see. Over against the vital ego, there is a great coarseness. Over against the vital ego, there is a great consciousness and the heaviness of tamas in the physical being. And in the absence of the psychic or spiritual refinement, we can feel the coarsement and heaviness of the tamas in the physical being. That must be eliminated, or it will stand always in the way of the true and complete change of the vital being on the mind. So, that physical breathing and the physical that must be absent in the psychic and the refinement of the spiritual. So these are the physical being and the ego. Very interesting. I will try to quote. Over and against the vital ego, there is a great coarseness and heaviness of tamasa in the physical being that must be eliminated. Absence of the psychic of the spiritual refinement, it is there, that coarseness and of the heaviness of the tamas there, that must be eliminated. If it is not eliminated, or that will stand against on the way of true and complete change of the vital being and the mind. Against here, Aurobindo observes little further in very interesting way. Unless these things are radically changed, not the change or a little bit that mental change or initial change, radically changed, merely having experiences or establishing a temporary and precarious calmness in the mental vital parts will not help in the end. Only a little that glimpse is there, some experience is there, some actually some ordinary temporary preparation is there. It will not help permanently. There is no, there will be no fundamental change, only the constant going from one state to another state, something a return of disturbances and always the same effect is persisting to the end of the chapter. So it has to be eliminated, it has to be changed, it has to be transformed, that must be taken care of. Then Sri Aurobindo quotes a condition, the one condition of getting rid of these things, the condition to get rid of these things is an absolute central sincerity. Again, Sri Aurobindo quotes it that it is requirement, this absolute central sincerity in the all parts of the being. That means an absolute insistence on the truth and nothing but the truth, only truth and nothing but the truth, and sincerely it must be no, it must be practiced. That sincerity must be there. There will be then a readiness for unsparing self-criticism and vigilant openness to the light, the uneasiness when the falsehood comes in, which will finally purify the whole being. So this is the requirement. It must be purified, and there must be a consistency in it. It must be a progressive one until unless there is permanent transformation has taken place. So the defects mentioned are more or less common in various degrees in almost every sort of it is almost common format it is coming. So we have to what we can they can be got rid of. It is the requisite of the sincerity. If that sincerity is there, that progressiveness is not there, is there, then it can be of course it can be eliminated. Then Sri Aurobindo quotes it again. It is quite natural that there should be much mixture of the attitude till all is clear. Mixture of attitudes. Sri Aurobindo quotes that is a very beautiful phrase. Mixture of attitude till it is all are clear. The ordinary nature clings to the action and the transformation in the completeness can't be sudden. It is not at a sudden requirement of time. It must be progressive. The process sadhana must be progressive. Sometime it will come. What is necessary is that the basic consciousness should become firmly established in the divine. Basic consciousness must be firmly established in the divine. Then the mixture in the rest can be seen and steadily worked out. To have this outwardly as well as inwardly a great progress. To achieve it is a great progress. So again, Sri Aurobindo goes for the little bit discussion on this topic. He has quoted very fine, very interestingly. Whatever one wants sincerely and persistently from the divine is sure to give. So whatever already we have seen, all sincere prayers are granted, all calls are answered, everything is there. Mother has quoted. So nothing. So for that, if it is answered and everything is fulfilled, that's why human aspiration is there. Human is coming. But thing is that it is not aspiration. It is coming later in the initial and the middle, or towards even towards the not as though it unless it is purified. That is also coming in the end as the desires. So whatever one wants sincerely and persistently from the divine is sure to give. When one aspires with sincerity, the strength is given that ends by surmounting the difficulties and reaching the goal. Reaching the goal, surmounting is difficulty. There must be two things: sincere aspiration, aspiration with sincerity, with which the strength is given, with the given strength, with the strength that is descending, or from within or from above. With that strength, the difficulties can be surmounted and the goal can be reached. Then again, sure, in the course there is a different problem is there. If one you open yourself on one side or in one part to the truth, in one part we are open, we are prospering, but on another side are constantly opening the gates to hostile forces. So it is the very contrariety, everything is existing within us. In one side we are opening, calling on the truth, and another side opening the gates to hostile forces. Then what is the result? It is vain to expect that the divine grace will abide with you. So if you wish to install there the living presence, keep the temple clean. Sincerity must be there, one pointedness, one sidedness, that aspiration will be there. And it will be persistent, ceaseless. The house of the divine are not closed to anyone who knock sincerely at the gates. So it is open for all who are sincere, whether the past stumbling of the errors, whatever is there. So sincerity is a must in this path. Thank you.